Identity, the quest for Israel's future. Emanuel Shahaf, hello to you.
Hello, hello.
The book, the lectures, and now we have the International Climate Summit in Glasgow, Scotland. What is your perspective, whether the green perspective is something that can create a common ground for Israelis and Palestinians towards the federation?
Yeah, I think the green perspective is one of the most important aspects of the situation we are in Israel and in Palestine, because we are connected, and the land is one ecological unit. So we cannot separate it, and it means that whatever we do affects the Palestinians, whatever the Palestinians do affects us. Not to do this together would be a big mistake. And it's also something which is really not not controversial. It can be controversial, of course, but dealing with the aspects of pollution is not controversial, and that can serve as a basis for cooperation and for initial cooperation on a larger scale, as we should do.
From your perspective, the first possible step between Israel and the Palestinians, even before talking about federation, would be creating what exactly?
Well, a sewage union, so to speak, okay, to treat sewage jointly and make sure that the sewage which flows down from the mountains where the Palestinians are into the coastal area, which is where we are, is treated well, and that all aspects of that are well taken care of, and there's no argument over who is in charge of what, and so on and so forth, and all the money will be made available because the Palestinians are shorter of money than we are. So that's a good basis to cooperate, and also, of course, to make sure that our settlements in the West Bank do not do any harm to the already stressed ecological situation of the Palestinians, and don't overuse the water, which is what we're doing right now.
So you're talking basically about a perspective like in the COVID-19, that Israel and Palestine have practically no borders regarding climate, yes, regarding green perspective, regarding health.
Right.
It's one unit.
It's one ecological unit. There are no borders. Even if you look hard, you won't find any. And everything is connected to everything, and so it's a good basis to work on this together.
And do you think it's something that can be done with looking about the political challenges that the Israeli government is facing right now and the Palestinians' leadership? Do you think that talking about these green initiatives, it's something that can be beyond politics towards the health?
I think it's pretty much the only thing which can be dealt with right now, because it's really not controversial. Okay, it has to be dealt with. It has to be dealt with by both sides. The government of Israel has a vested interest in it. The government of Palestine has a vested interest in it. There's no reason why anybody should object, as long as we do it in consideration of the other side.
Talking about consideration about with the other side, there are many new articles in the Israeli press regarding the federation and the confederation.
Yes.
First of all, let's talk about the difference. For Americans' eyes, for Israelis, what's the difference between confederation and federation that you've been dealing with?
A confederation is more than one sovereignty. Okay, so when you're talking about a confederation, you're talking about two states or more. When you're talking about a federation, you're talking about one state, which is a critical difference. There are many two-staters in Israel. Many of the people who are supporting two states are now moving over to confederation.
What's the difference between the two-state solution and the confederation solution?
Well, first of all, the confederation is a two-state solution. Okay, it's a two-state solution with an added structure of a joint government of some sort, which is not defined. And there aren't very many confederations in the world. It's not a system of government which has proven itself, except for the European Union, which is also not doing too well as a confederation, and is more likely than not going to federate earlier or later. There's only, I think, one other country, Bosnia or something, which is also not doing too well. But it's a possibility for the two-staters to hang on to the two-state solution, which they are afraid of leaving, of letting go of. But there are people already who are saying that confederation is not enough. It has to have to be something joint, joint cooperation, which basically means that people are moving towards the federation slowly but surely. They're just not owing up to it. Okay, and the federation, of course, is most likely the best way of dealing with our situation, and we'll have to wait and see whether politically it can come up.
So you basically think that the idea that is being written right now in the Israeli press and articles regarding the confederation, it might be a step towards the federation from the two-state solution? It's a step that can be part of a long journey?
Yes, it's a step, because we have to help the public and also the politicians to walk away from the two-state solution. Okay, there's a great reluctance because it's a paradigmatic change, and paradigmatic changes come about only after either after some big trauma, which I hope will not come about, or after considerable deliberation and effort and so on and so forth. And we've started out on that way. It'll be longer or shorter, but I think people are beginning to realize that a one-state federation and with Gaza separate is actually the way to go for the time being.
And we're talking about kinds of things that might be traumatic. One of the biggest or the strongest and the most painful memories of the Nakba. When people were practically took from their houses, took from their land at the early stage of the State of Israel. Do you think that the one-state solution is something that might cause the same memory again, that it might occur?
Both the two-state solution and the one-state solution can conceivably lead to another Nakba. If the two-state solution actually is more dangerous, because there will be a Palestinian state to which the Arab Israelis can be deported to, and this will definitely come up if the two-state solution ever comes into being. In a one-state solution, that would mean if it's not a democratic state, then of course there's the danger that there's another Nakba. So the way to deal with this is to have a democratic one-state or a hybrid one-state solution, like a federation, which guarantees that we're actually talking about a citizen state with all the democratic norms that we can all only dream of at this time. Equality, yes, the minor little detail. And if we can make that happen, I think we're going to be pretty sure that there will not be another Nakba.
You know, people that are watching you over the social networks, and there are many, there's a lot of buzz towards these videos, updates that you are posting, etc. Is there any request or any message towards viewers from Israel, from Palestine, or from elsewhere regarding the manner that they're writing or publishing? Because it's a very touchy issue.
I encourage comments and even critical comments, but keep it courteous and keep it nice, keep it decent, because to deal with many comments is not easy. Some of them are problematic, to say the least, and I won't hesitate to block people who are going over the top, as some of them have. Americans like free expression very much, and sometimes they're not nice, but
yet most of them,
Israelis too.
Yes, but yet most of them are people that really are intrigued by your videos, by these interviews, and you're kindly inviting people to be part of the journey of the federation,
yes,
of the ideas, of the books, and to comment, but in a manner that...
in a positive way, positive criticism.
Positive criticism, that's the right way. Emanuel Shahaf, Identity, the Quest for Israel's Future. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you.